Did Bassam get in?
Not yet.
Do we wait for Bassam?
I'd recommend moving forward. No, in all honesty, I mean, I didn't mean that as a.
Not that he isn't important.
Okay, should we go ahead and start the meeting then? Everybody's
We're
here.
ready when you are.
Okay, we are now recording. So I will call this meeting to order and pledge allegiance. The flag, please. Okay, begin. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of
States
America
of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Liberty and justice for all. Okay, well, I think we sound better when we're in the boardroom, you guys.
Worst
Sound pretty
rendition
good at
ever.
boardroom.
But we did it anyway. Okay, I'm going to do the invocation today. We ask the Heavenly Father in thy infinite wisdom to guide the members of this board in such a way that all their thoughts, endeavors, and decisions will be made for the betterment of the entire community. We also beseech thee to protect our country and our people from all conflicts, foreign and domestic. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, roll call, please.
Director Sewell,
Here.
Director Martin, I apologize, Vice President Martin,
Here.
Director Gracia,
All right, here.
thank you. Director Duncan,
Here, and just for the record, it does show me as vice president, but for the
Change
public.
that.
Okay.
And President Wright.
Here,
Thank you, we have quorum.
thank you. Okay, rules of procedure. Mr. Pinckney.
Yes, the rules of procedure adopted by the board are as follows, and it's quite lengthy, so I'm just touching on some of the key provisions. All notice meetings are conducted using Rosenberg's Rules of Order as a procedural guideline. Directors should refrain from responding directly to public comments at meetings of the board. The president of the board presides at all meetings and decides all points of order and procedure during meetings. The president is responsible for the maintenance of order and decorum at all board meetings. No person should be allowed to speak who has not first been recognized by the president. All questions and remarks should be addressed to the president as a presiding officer. No member of the board should speak more than once upon any one subject until every other member of the board wishing to speak on the subject shall have been given an opportunity to speak. No board member shall interfere with the orderly progress of a board meeting. In order to ensure the orderly progress of board meetings, the board president regulates the amount of time to be dedicated to a particular agenda item.
Thank you. Public input. Do we have any public input for the public forum part of the meeting?
President Wright, we just had a gentleman join and Amanda's with him in the waiting room now to see if he wishes to make public comment. Give me one moment.
Okay, thank you. Oh, there you go. 3 times now, April. Triplets.
Amanda, did you have an opportunity to ask Mr. Davis if he was here for public comment?
No, it looked like he never joined
Okay,
the breakout room. Yeah.
That was, his name was Jeff Davis.
correct.
Yeah, I saw that. Isn't that the name of the general manager of San Gorgonio?
Ex-general manager.
Always okay. Well, it's
And now
probably not-
he's, yeah, his.
I don't know if it's the same guy. I mean, that's kind of a common name, so. Anyway, okay.
dropped
Then
from
we
the
will-
meeting now,
we
if he
will move on
reconnects.
if we, pardon? Oh, there he is,
Oh.
back again.
Mr. Davis, do you wish to make public comment?
No, I do not.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Okay. So we will move on from public input and we will go to employee recognition. We talked about these last Thursday at the study session. We have Chris Jacobson, 17 years for the lead. He is now the lead wastewater treatment plant operator. We have Sierra Boyle, who's our customer service rep at 4 years. These are their anniversaries. Oriana Huffert is a human resources specialist, 4 years. Rita Hoover, senior accounting technician, 3 years. Julio Martinez, field operations tech 1 for 2 years. He's been with us. And Christopher Shanahan, field operations tech 1 year. We also have Oriana has a master's degree, got a master's degree in human resource management with a specialization in organizational leadership and change management. Congratulations, Oriana. Very good. Arden, anything you might like to say about your great employees here?
Well, yeah, I mean, Julio and Christopher have only been here a short period of time. I might let Danny or Bassam comment, but we're very lucky to have them. We have really a good staff right now. Chris has been here. Wow, I knew he was here just before me. He's really a good employee, and he was the Big Heart Award Employee of the Year a couple years back, or last year.
Yeah.
Right. And always at Corbs, always participating. He's a good, his heart and soul are with MSWD, and I really appreciate that. Sierra, I talk to every day. We go to the same gym, so we always have a little bit in common to talk about. Wonderful to have her on board. Oriana also, and I think the word I like to think about when I think of Oriana is very professional. And I think very well liked and very capable in this position. And again, like you said, it says a lot that somebody like Oriana goes to school and gets her master's degree, and while she's working. Rita is my soft spot there is she's a Midwestern girl from Minnesota. You know what that's like, Nancy. We all have a lot in common, even though we don't all talk alike. And so we got a good staff. Thank you. Danny or I
Thank
don't
you,
know, Sam might want to say something about Julio or Christopher.
I'll jump in for that team. I mean, Bassam is on the line. I checked. Let me just double check again, but I know if he wants to say something. You said a great job, a great thing, a lot of things good about this team. I think as far as Chris Jacobson, this last year has been challenging as just with COVID. And the reason I say that is we've been split team for the majority of that time, just for a short time that we returned in June or in July. But in his job description, he does fulfill the duties of his supervisor. And because of the split team, he's had to do that more so weeks on end. So kudos to Chris for that, and he's done a great job in doing so. There's been a lot of learning curves for all of us, and that's one of the things that he stepped up to the plate. I know Julio, he's driven, like you said, Arden. And as far as Chris Shanahan, he brings a lot of skills. He came from another water agency in the Inland Empire, up in the hills, actually near, gosh darn it, like at the base of Big Bear. But Bassam, if you want to step in and help me out with that. But they both bring great qualities to the district and complement the team very well. So thanks for what you said, Arden.
Let's thank them.
Yeah, thank you, all the employees that have your anniversary. Congratulations. Okay, we'll move on to COVID-19 update. Anything different from Thursday?
Nothing new. We still will all be back on the 22nd. We probably still will have virtual meetings at least next month. We'll see what we can do in the room. And we want to be sure that everything is good before we return. The big topic right now are vaccines, and they just literally don't have them. But I don't get any priority. I also wanted to see if we as a essential business couldn't have some high priority, but they have told me in my inquiry that no, there is no such status right now, but there may be in the future. So as soon as we can get the shots for our employees, we're going to do it and open it up to them if they want to get one in. I'm assuming I will let every one of you know too when that's available. I mean, some of us are age qualified. It will be.
Over. Oh.
You know, I think, and somebody did make a comment that, you know, it's looking good across the nation. It's looking, you know, so the trend is in the right direction. So let's just ride that positive wave while we can. Okay. That's it. Nothing else new. We will stop our split schedule. In fact, when we come back next week, B team, that will be the last group that will be working from home. Okay.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Okay, action items. Item number 3, award of contract for the Desert Willows water line replacement project. I will turn that over to the general manager.
And actually, you've had this in front of you. I don't know, Danny, on what, 3 separate times, and a lot of good comments. We've researched some of it per your comments, for the board's comments on several things. I think everything's ready to go. I don't have anything new to add. This will be beneficial to both of us. And we did not, you know, they have approached us about sharing with the asphalt work, and they said they've got money in the bank, so they're ready to move forward with that. And I don't know, Danny, did you have anything additional that you wanted to say?
I don't, Arden. I'm happy to answer any questions if there
We'll
are.
answer any questions that you may have.
Any board members, I can see you also. Just raise your
Yeah, I
hand.
have a quick question. Arden, you were talking about the concrete work or the pavement work. So between the home and us, we're going to redo the whole street. There's not going to be a lot of patchwork.
There's not going to be patchwork. Yes. I mean, Danny
Okay.
can add to that. The whole street will be paved, but they're paying for that.
And yeah, and I was going to say, and they'll contribute towards that or part of it or whatever. Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you.
It saves us both money.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right.
Yes, Director Grasha.
I just wanted to thank staff for being so kind. I had lots of questions about this project, and they worked very hard to get the answers that I needed so that I could vote today responsibly for the entire community. And so thank you to Arden and Attorney Pinkney, and I'm looking forward to being able to cast my vote here in a minute. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? No. Okay, so I will now entertain a motion to award the contract for the Desert Willows water line replacement project. Do we have anybody, excuse me, Dory, before I do this, that would want to speak on this item?
Jeff Davis is the only member of the public besides Jan Pye. My apologies.
Okay, and so nobody's put a card in for this particular item?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So I will entertain a motion to award a contract for the Desert Willows water line replacement project, to execute a cooperative agreement with the Desert Willows Property Owners Association regarding repaving of the roads and capital budget augmentation. So it's recommended to authorize the general manager to award a contract to the Desert Willows water line replacement project to the Van Dyke Corporation, the lowest responsible bidder, in the amount of 1.5 million plus a 10% contingency. So I will entertain a motion.
I'll move what Nancy just said.
I'll
Not gonna
second
repeat
it.
all that.
I think, did I hear Steve say something? Did you just say?
He beat, Russ beat me to the second and to the first, but yeah, go ahead. That's
So we got a first, a second, and a third. Okay, roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Grasha,
yes.
Director Duncan,
Yes.
Vice President Martin,
Yes.
President Wright.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. Item number 4, make the connection program for financial assistance for the program approval. We have 4 different projects that we will be voting on. It's recommended to approve the financial assistance requests for those following properties in number 4.
I have
Any
nothing to
questions
add.
from the board? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion from the board.
So moved. Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Gracia. Director Gracia,
Nod.
I'm sorry. Yes.
thank you. Director Duncan,
Yes.
Vice President Martin,
Yes.
President Wright.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, item number 5. This was the one that was added to this agenda today. The first amendment to General Manager Chief Engineering Employment Agreement. So I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Pinckney to start this out for us.
Yes, so this is a first amendment to the General Manager Chief Engineer Employment Agreement. And the district entered into an agreement with the General Manager on July 1, 2020. There are just some minor changes to the agreement. The base salary commencing on July 1, 2020 will be set at $243,000 per year. The board shall annually review the employee's base salary for increases in an amount to be determined by the board in its discretion, but it won't do that again until July 1, 2022. And then
I think you meant, Chet, I think you meant 2021 on those previous dates, not 2020. That year's passed.
The agreement date up at the top on the top. The very,
Yeah.
the recitals.
no, it's correct, Director Martin. The agreement.
His raise to 243 is, you're doing retroactively. I'm sorry. All right. Never
So
mind.
the agreement was entered into on July 1, 2020, and the board at that time, because of COVID, put off doing any COLA adjustment or any adjustments to the compensation. So the start or commencement date of the agreement remains July 1, 2020. And
Okay.
so the salary is set at $243,000 from the commencement date. The board will review the employee's base salary each year, but it won't do it again until July 1, 2022, and then every July 1st thereafter. And the employee will meet with the district's board under the evaluation section 6. Will meet with the board in closed session at least annually on or around the anniversary of the commencement date to review the employee's performance and discuss the board's evaluation of said performance. And you can meet more frequently than that if you determine that you need to as a board. In addition to that, under section D, the severance remains at the level it's currently set at, which is 12 months. So that remains unchanged. Section E on the second page, Article 7E is stricken, and that just removes the expiration date. And then section F, Roman numeral 8D is stricken to remove the car allowance. So the car allowance goes away, and then you have the salary set at $243,000 per year. Those are the major items.
Thank you. Any board members have any comments or questions on that?
I have a couple of comments, maybe. Just a couple of comments, maybe.
Okay, who said that? Oh, Steve. Okay, go ahead.
We're, as a district, in a critical time in our district's history, I think. And the general manager was willing to give up his 3-year contract for an annual contract. To me, that's a great concession that I can support, and we'll move the item at the appropriate time because of those reasons. Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor. How about, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I believe Director Sewell seconded that.
I'm not
okay.
sure who did. Did you get it, Dory?
Yes,
Who
Director
seconded
Sewell.
it?
Yes.
Any further discussion, you guys, on that? Do we have anybody? I don't think we have any cards for
No,
speaking
ma'am.
on that. Correct. Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Gracia,
Yes.
Director Duncan,
Yes.
Vice President Martin,
Yes.
President Wright.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, consent agenda. There's 2 items on the consent agenda, the approval of the minutes and the registrar of demands. Any board member like to pull either of those for discussion? Seeing none, we don't have any cards, I take it, for anybody in the public would like to speak on either one of those items. So I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
I need a
I'll
second.
second it.
Oh,
Got a second, thank you.
Yes.
Roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Grasha,
yes.
Director Duncan,
Yes.
Vice President Martin,
Yes,
and President Wright.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion.
Aye. Excuse me.
Before we move on, President Wright, I'm not sure if there were any further discussions, but you skipped the courtyard building update and the regional plant update.
I did, didn't I? Well, only the corporate one I see.
Yes.
Oh, and the regional plant. Okay, I did. I went right from that to that. Okay, thank you.
welcome.
Item 6, corporate yard building update. Sorry, everybody. I have Tuesday written there next to it too. Thank you for calling my attention to that, Doreen.
Of course.
Okay, general manager, or who do we to corporate yard
Well,
building
the
update? That
corporate-
was Brian, right?
Yeah, but we don't have much. Oh, no, okay, the corporate, yeah, the building is Brian, and he will be glad to discuss that, which we've been having some really good conversations about that and input, so. Brian, do you want to take over there?
Sure, I can do that, General Manager. Thank you, Madam President, Board of Directors. Just very quickly, a building update at the corporate yard location. During a board workshop on January 12th, staff was given direction to meet with the City of Desert Hot Springs to discuss the possibility of building at the corporate yard location adjacent to the Mission Springs Park. As part of that, we would also be using the public parking spaces that are available. As directed, we met with Danny Porras, the Public Works Director, City Engineer, as well as the Public Works Manager on January 27th to discuss the new building at that location. Several key parts of that discussion, or highlights, if you will. They were very excited to hear that we're thinking of utilizing that facility or that location, because the idea is that we'll have more traffic in the area. Therefore, that should lead to less vandalism of the park itself. Felt that because we were utilizing different times of use between MSWD parking and the park activities, they wouldn't overlap. Therefore, there should be no public parking problem. There is an existing plan for a traffic signal at the intersection of Palm Drive and Park Lane. It will be installed following the Riverside County Library construction. Additional intersection improvements will not be required by MSWD, which is good. Any drainage issues that are at the existing park or on our facility have been discussed over a period of number of years with the city, and those would continue. Any work that we would do in our corporate yard obviously would dovetail well with any future improvements at the park. And then from a permitting perspective, if we were to build at that location as a public agency, many aspects of the project would be exempt from CEQA because it's already an existing use. So the discussions went very well. Again, this is just a highlight. We'd go into more detail once we started the project if we decided to keep the building at this location, but it was very positively accepted by the city, and they were very excited about the project being at that location. That concludes my report, and I'd be willing to answer any questions at this point.
Questions, board? I know we had a discussion about it before.
Yes.
Hey, thank you, Brian. We'll move on then to item number 7, Mission Springs Water District Regional Water Reclamation Facility update, which is a complete now. It's complete, has all the, get ready for bids, right, Danny?
Well, yeah, we're getting close to that.
Getting close to being ready for bids.
Yeah, no, this is going to move very quickly, and we probably will be spinning here in a little bit. Hopefully, we're still, waiting. Nothing new from what we reported on Thursday. We're keeping our fingers crossed that all of the financing is in place. Everything seems to be unfolding exactly like we hoped it would. So, did you have anything that you wanted to add, Danny?
I think you covered it, Arden.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have anything new. But we will be really busy with that. It's going to be fun. We'll get the board out there. We're going to start, especially when it's safer to do, some tours and things like that. We'll get out.
Maybe.
But to answer Madam President's question directly, we do have 100% of the plans. They are being vetted, and the next steps, the natural progression of this project is to go to bid. So we're working through those items right now.
Okay, great. And how long is the bidding process?
6 weeks.
Thank you. Okay. Not hearing any other questions from the board, we'll move on to item number 10. Upcoming events and directors' reports. So who wants to go first?
I'll go ahead and go since I have.
I got to find the page on my thing here so I know who's going to. Okay, go ahead, Russ.
January 5th, attended city council meeting. When I say attend, I mean Zoom or the equivalent thereof. They had the swearing in of Scott Mattis being reelected as mayor, and new city council member Nunez and Russ Betts, council member Russ Betts. Councilman Nunez was sworn in by 5th District's County Supervisor Manny Perez, which was quite an honor. And Councilman Betts was selected as Mayor Pro Tem. January 7th, DVBA legislative meeting, nothing to report there. January 19th, City Council meeting. Lennar to build 180 homes in the Skyborn development project. Ted Meyerhoffen and former City Council member Robert Griffith were both appointed to the Planning Commission. Works are underway to make Desert Hot Springs a trailhead to Joshua Tree National Park and also the Sand to Snow National Monument. These plans have been in the works for a number of years, but it looks like they're finally making some headway. And it looks like that's going to be completed hopefully pretty soon. The trailhead for Joshua Tree National Park will be in the Long Canyon area. January 21st, Riverside County-wide Oversight Board meeting. We approved the recognized obligation payment schedule for a number of properties throughout Riverside County. January 25th, Cabot's board meeting. Former mayor and councilman of Cathedral City, who is now a current Coachella Valley Water District board member. He also happens to sit on our Cabot's Museum Foundation board. Anyway, he is now the new treasurer for the foundation. And then we had a discussion regarding recruitment of new board members. So if any of you have any ideas about a good board member or a potential board member for Cabot's Museum Foundation, shoot me an email, okay? And January 27th, San Gregonio Pass Regional Water Alliance meeting. 3,700 homes were being built in Calamasa that are all dual plumbed for both potable and recycled water with 2 meters. And I couldn't help but think the problem we had with meters, they're really asking for trouble to have every single home in that 3,700 development have 2 separate meters. That's going to be fun to watch. They also discussed flood control measures taken to address significant storms that are anticipated. And Daniel Slauson, who was the chairman of the Water Alliance, has been reappointed as the chairman for the upcoming year. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Director Duncan, you're the only other one on that list.
Yeah, and I want to start out by asking Russ, did they mention a difference in water rates between the fresh and recycled water?
No, they didn't. And that wasn't addressed. I could probably find that out and shoot you an email or a text or something. That's a good question.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see if there was a significant difference in the whatever.
I
so-
imagine there has to be some difference, otherwise they wouldn't need 2 meters, but
Right. Okay. Actually, I reported on a lot of this. Normally, we report a year or a month behind, but because of the elections and everything, I covered a lot of this in January, but I'll cover it again. Desert Water Agency January board meeting. Kristen Bloomer became their president, Jim Chaffee, the vice president, and Joe Stewart, their secretary treasurer. I got a chance to congratulate them on their new positions. Their general manager stole my thunder, but I also got a chance to thank them for the help they gave us on the well that went down. CBWD, same thing. President John Powell, Costello Estrada, or say Eric Estrada, is the vice president. And then they have a new director, John Aguilar, for their Division 1, who took over for,
O'Dowd.
Patrick O'Dowd, thank you. Wow, totally lost that one. And that was about the gist of their meeting, although they did have a nice declaration, or I'm sorry, a resolution for Patrick O'Dowd, thanking him for his service. And that's it for January meetings.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Just for purposes, just to let you know that the next thing is the general manager's monthly report. February report is in the binder or in our agenda packet. It's many pages. I don't know how many, but very many. I keep doing this on my iPad and I'm still there. Okay.
Oh, I got
So
one thing.
general manager report. Now we're on your report now. I just was mentioning that it was written also.
Thank you all so much for working with me in my amendment to my contract. I think we really got a good team now, and I'm looking forward to working on the plant and on the building. I've had several conversations with Steve and with Danny and with, all of you, like just lately, and you especially, Nancy, I talk to every day. We're going to have a good year, and it's really, I'm feeling good that we're going to come out of this COVID case. But the one thing that's probably more important than all of that is we did get an email today from Laura that basically said the rumor is, and they're fairly certain, that they're going to bring earmarks back. They're going to call them something else, something or other.
Some kind of mark.
Getting earmarks back.
Yeah,
So-
earmarks is probably not a good word to use.
I know. I don't know why I don't know why they called them earmarks. This probably goes back to the days of England when,
Like the word sewer back in 1972 in Desert Hot Springs.
So that is the only new thing that I have to report, and thanks.
Okay, thank you. Financial report. We had that on Thursday and our finance director is not with us today.
I think he's
But
fishing.
does any of the board members have any questions on that report? No, okay. So we will move on to district council report.
And I gave my report on Thursday. And
Okay, now,
And also, Madam President, just to let you know, we won't have a closed session today. I have because it's Tuesday, I have a council meeting that I've got to prepare for and go to today. So,
okay. Okay, I didn't think we were planning on it anyway to begin with, so thank you. Okay, so director's comments. Who'd like to go first? Okay, Director Duncan, got
If
it.
nobody else is jumping out. Okay, kudos to a couple of people. First, Russ Martin, if you didn't get a chance to watch I don't know if it's the last or the prior city council meeting, one of the council members made some derogatory remarks about the district. in our meters and whatnot. Russ Martin went during public comments and very politely, very professionally corrected the situation and defended the district, but his remarks were spot on. They were absolutely, they were very good, Russ. That's all I can say is they were good. Spot on. And then secondly, a week or two ago, had somebody in my district come knocking on my door. He had bought some property over in the hot water area, couldn't find the well. I always thought wells were big, they were above ground, you could find them, but this one happened to be underground. It was covered by a couple inches of dirt. He couldn't find it, searched the property for days, did everything from, divining rods to magnets or whatever he did. So I gave him Danny Friend's number. He called Danny. Danny had a crew out there, and within 4 or 5 minutes, they'd found the well, uncovered it. Come to find out, it was just buried under several inches of dirt by a big greasewood bush. You never would have found it. But they found it in just a couple of minutes, and this guy spent days looking for it. So kudos, Danny. Thank you for getting that taken care of so quickly.
Water
And
wizard.
to your
The
crew
water.
for being able to find it so quickly.
Water wizards. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
It's
Ivan, you want to
Yeah, I
have
just
any
had a
comments?
real quick one. And that was on Thursday when we were going over some things. The idea of a class comp study came up, and it seemed like all 5 of us were in agreement that we should have one completed. So I'm just hoping we can get underway on that and have it completed sooner than later. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Vice President Martin,
I have nothing.
Director Grusha.
Just a couple of things. To Director Sewell, thank you for that. I didn't want to clutter up my comments with mentioning that, so thank you for bringing that up. I wanted to mention some sad news. One of our retirees after 20 years of service, Robert Wayne Nielsen, who was living in Banning at a assisted living center with his wife. They both passed away in January.
I heard that. Wayne.
Had been with the agency for almost 20 years. And I think it's a very sad reminder of what we're dealing with out there. So I hope everybody can continue to take seriously the situation that we have going on right now. With that, thank you, and I'll pass it back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Just to comment on that too. Yeah, I pass that on. Wayne was, like Director Grusha said, a really good finance person for us. He really helped bring this
He's
district.
here for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time. Thank you for mentioning that, Director Grusha. And
Okay,
his,
thank you.
I think his wife passed on the 1st of January, and then he passed several weeks later. I did some research. I couldn't find out much more than that. He was an expert marksman with the bow.
Oh, he was a bow shot. He'd go bow hunting every year. Yeah. Deer hunting with a bow.
I have a picture of him behind me here if you want to.
That's him. That's him.
That's him.
Definitely Wayne. I can see right there. There we go. I can see him. Thank you. I hadn't seen his picture in a long time.
expert marksman with a rifle as well.
Was he too?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you have to stop and say thanks to him, because he was a wonderful employee. Wonderful.
Yeah, he was. Okay. So I guess we will move on. So I'm the only one left. I was reading about the new SB 323. Did anybody hear about that one in California? Actually, it's very similar to what we just kind of went through with the class action. It's financial stability for public agencies by creating a statutory limitations for legal challenges to water and sewer rates. Can 120 days, and that's how long they are proposing for the statute of limitations to be. So it's kind of interesting. It just has come out. So SB 323, keep an eye on it. A JPIA executive committee, I had announced last meeting, I guess, in January, that there was some slots open for the Joint Powers Insurance Agency for Aqua Association of California Water Agencies Executive Committee. I received a formal request from the general manager of Cucamonga Valley Water District for Randall James Reed. I've known Randall for a long time. He's been on their board for a long, long time. And he is trying to throw his hat in the ring to be on that board, the JPIA Executive Committee. And he's asking for a nomination.
Did we get a letter or?
No, I've got it right here. I was just trying to read it. And it's not till March. We can do it in March. The has to be in by March 19th. Our meetings are before that. So it's a letter, and then it shows how a formal request for any of this stuff is done, just to show you. So anyway, I'll give it to Dory. I'll take it in, give it to Dory so it can be in our next packet. Then we can decide what we want to do with it.
Will the paperwork you just displayed, will that be in the packet? It'd be interesting
Yes.
to see what he did.
Yes.
Also, along that line, Director Ortega has asked to be elected to the Aqua Region 9 board, and they passed a resolution at the DWA meeting last month, and I don't know if that's necessary for us to do, but I'd certainly like for our agency to do what we can to vote for him and encourage his participation.
Yeah, those are empty vacant positions on the Region 9 board. So the Region 9 board will be the ones who appoints whoever. And so it's just an application right now for whoever wants to be in the running for that. But it's not like the JPIA. This is a formal request. It's from the general manager of their water district. Yeah, so DWA should do it for him, so they know that their own board supports him, but it's not really necessary. And so they'd have to request it too from us, formally request it.
I read their procedures, and that did require, I guess, that to work out that way. I don't think they can appoint. I don't think the board itself can appoint, but anyway.
Well, they can, because they're vacant seats.
I see.
They're vacant seats on the board. That's why JPIA is actual voting. I will be voting for the district seat on the JPIA seat. So that makes a difference.
Thank
you. Okay. So without any closed sessions, if I don't hear anything else from anybody else, I'm waiting. Okay. Goodbye, everybody. I will adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. See ya. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. Bye. Have a good
Bye.
day.